Hi, good morning, everyone. How are you today? I hope that all of you are in well conditions because today we are going to conduct an online class. So therefore, I'm really sorry that I cannot teach you in the classroom now because I have something to do outside. But during this moment, I would like to have this class online, and I hope that all of you are staying in the classroom and do the project that I give at the end of this video. All right. So for today, we are going to continue our discussions on business ladder. Yeah. So last week or last meetings, we have already discussed about event review, and now we move to business ladder because in the future, if you are going to open an EO or event organizers or professional conference organizers or handling any event, it is very important for you to know how to create a business ladder as a part of business correspondence in MICE, especially. So therefore, today we are going to discuss it. All right. First of all, business ladder. I believe that maybe some of you have already learned or have already heard about the term of business ladder, yeah? But let me review a little bit about what business ladder is and what is the functions of business ladder. So a business ladder is a formal document often sent from one company to another or from a company to its client, employees, and stakeholders. So it is a formal document. So whenever you are receiving any emails, whenever you are receiving any letter from government, for example, or from any company, for example, that is a formal document. So therefore, you need to archive it. You need to keep it safe because later on you can use it for your further correspondence with the client or with the government. And also, business letters are used for professional correspondence between individuals as well. So who knows that you are going to open an independent event organizer. So you are going to be the project manager by your own, and then you hire some others as daily worker or maybe as a usher, for example. So therefore, it can be used as a professional correspondence to open the recruitment or even to open the hire or vacancies for doing so. As an example, I have already provided the link, yeah. So please kindly access the link bit.ly/bizletterrexa, and please kindly read the business letter thoroughly. Okay, have you downloaded? I hope that you have already downloaded it, yeah? Okay. So in the link, you are going to see this kind of letter. This is an example of inquiry letter. This is the basic business letter that you need to know because inquiry letter is used to ask for something or ask for certain informations. And it is really important for you to learn on how to write or to read a business letter or inquiry letter. But before that, let's figure it out about the business letter part. Well, actually, letter in Bahasa Indonesia or in English, it's quite similar, yeah. If you can see at the top of the letter, it contains of heading, yeah. So in Bahasa Indonesia, it is kop surat, but in English, it is called as a heading. And then after we have heading, we have the date, yeah, over here, the October 14th, 2010 as the date, which is going to be the date of the letter written by the sender. And afterward, we have recipient's details. So it's going to be the receiver of the business letter. But make sure that you put the complete information about the receiver. Yeah, not only about the name, but also include the positions and the complete address of the office. That's going to be better. Next is salutations, or in spoken language, it's called as greeting, like good morning, good afternoon, good evening. But in written language, we cannot use that because we never know whether the letter will be received in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. So therefore, we use dear something. Yeah. So for example, here we have dear Mr. Horde. Or in Bahasa Indonesia, we have dengan hormat like that. Yeah, that's the example. And after having the salutations, we are having the body. So as you can see here, the body is the most important um, part of the letter because it contains about the details of the letter, including the purpose, including the needs, including the details of information that you require. So therefore, make sure that you make or create or understand the body of the letter very well, yeah? And in the body, it contains of opening, content, and also closing. But later we are going to discuss it. No, this part. Then we have complementary close. Yeah, so it is just a part of closing before you close the all of the letter. In Bahasa Indonesia, we have hormat saya ya at the end, yeah, above the signature. So in English, we have complementary close. And last part is signature line. So in signature line, if it is written on the paper, so you need to take a signature on that. But if it is typed on the soft digitals, for example, or digital letter or soft file of letters, you just need to put your complete name and also your positions. So therefore, it's going to be clear enough who the sender of the letter is. Let's get into the details, yeah, of each business letter part. So the first part of the business letter is the heading. As you can see here, there are several kind of informations that we need to put in the heading. The first one, we need to put the sender's company or the details of information about the standards itself. Yeah, for example, in here, because we are representing about, we are the representations of one event organizer, for example. So we need to put the logo. So if you can see the green part over here, it is the logo of the event organizers, and then the name of the company need also to be written very clear, and also the address. Yeah, make sure you put the complete address, including the name of the city and also the zip code. It will be helpful if you need to receive any hard files or maybe have any hard documents. Second part is the standards contact. So whenever you are having or whenever you are creating a heading, make sure that you put the clear context. So therefore, the receivers can contact you in certain ways, whether you are going to be contacted through telephone, whether you are going to be contacted through email, or maybe you require them to contact you through website. So therefore, please can they provide the complete information as much as you can so that they have several options to reach you out. After having the heading, we have, do you still remember what is it? Yeah, so we have the date, yeah. So it depends on you whether you are going to be a British one or you are going to be an American one. So it's actually not really matter, yeah. So remember to write the date. Make sure that you put the name of the month clearly, not using any numbers, yeah. So you can put the date first, followed by the month and the year, or you can put the month first, followed to the date and the year. It's fine. Whether you are going to use British or American, it is still understandable. And after that, the same like the sender's detail, the receiver's detail also need to be specified. So first, you need to put the recipient's name. Need to be complete, yeah? Need to be complete. Unless you are not really knowing who you are going to send to. For example, you want to send a request and then you don't really know about the name of the manager, for example, you can omit it. But please kindly do some research so that it's going to be complete and the letter can be received by the right person. Okay. And then the second one is the recipient's position. So if you don't really know the name of the receiver, at least you need to know the positions of the receiver. Whether is it going to be the manager of HR, or general manager, or food and beverage department manager. So at least you need to put the recipient's positions. Next is the company's name, of course, because we are having some correspondence with the corporate. Of course, we need to have the company's name. And the last one is the recipient's address. Some address needs to be clear enough whether you are sending the letter into certain building. If you send it into certain building, make sure that you put the name of the building also, not only about the street address, but also the name of the building. So it's going to be easier for the postman to send any hard document or hard file to the receiver. Afterward, we have salutations. That's good. Yeah. So we have salutation. In here, there are several ways to use salutations. It depends on your conditions. Yeah. So salutation is just like the greeting in spoken language, like good morning, good afternoon, good evening. But in written language, we use dear, blah, blah, blah. And remember, in writing the salutations, you need to follow certain rules. So there are going to be different kind of language expressions that you can use in writing the salutation, depends on the situations. First, you may to write to whom it may concern if you do not know anyone. I mean, like if you send a complaint, for example, you do not know whether you are going to complain to the manager, whether you are going to complain to the director, or maybe you are going to complain to the supervisor, for example. So you can use to whom it may concern if you don't really know who is going to receive this letter or who is going to be responsible for further correspondence. Next, use dear sir or madam if you do not know the name. Just like what I've told you previously, if you do not know the name, at least you need to know about the positions or the managers. Sorry, the positions, yeah. So therefore, you can use dear sir or madam to change the name because you don't really know the names. So therefore, you use sir or madam as a general salutations. And if you know the name exactly, you need to know their genders, whether they are going to be a male or female. If it is a male, make sure you use Mr. blah blah blah. Put the last name, yeah, not the first name, but the last name. For example, my name is Muhammad Nova, so you use Mr. Nova because Nova is my last name, not my first name, like that. And then if you know the person is female, use Miss. Yeah, Miss Johnson. It's going to be more polite rather than using Mrs. because we are not really sure whether she has been married or not, right? So therefore, to be more general, it's going to be better if you write Miss blah 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 or Miss the last name. Like that. After having the body, sorry, after having the salutation, we have the body. This is going to be the most important part of the business letter that you need to write or you need to understand. Because in the body of the letter, they consist of three parts. The first one is the opening, the second one is the content, and the last one is the closing. So in the opening, you need to mention or state your purpose or the aim in writing the letter. So whether you are going to ask for certain informations or maybe you want to send a complaint, for example, you need to state it. Yeah, you need to state it clearly at the first paragraph of your letter and also provide some reference if needed. For example, I got your contact from blah, blah, blah. So who knows that through this kind of correspondence, they have some trust issues with the client or with another corporate. So therefore, they can respond to your letter sooner. The second one is the main or the content. So this is going to be the most important part or the details of your letter. Yeah. So you need to provide information details of your objectives or purpose in writing the letter. So if you create an order letter, so you need to put the name of the staff, the amount of the staff, the quantity, the price, or anything that you need to write. And if you want to write an inquiry letter, you need to provide the details of information that you want, whether it is going to be accommodation, location, And then also the prices, for example, you need to write it down in the main. And the last part is the closing. So closing is a way that we want to be reach out. So it's going to be better if you can provide your contact number or at least email so that the receiver can respond or reply to your business letter through email or through telephone. And also, you also need to provide information about the enclosures, whether you are going to attach some files or some documents to create a better or to complete the informations that you have provided in the body of the letter. And the last part is going to be do you still remember what is it? Yes, that's right. The first one is complementary close. So this is the part of the closing. Before you close the letter, you need to write complementary close. But actually, complementary close has different types, yeah, not only one. And the last one is the signature line. So signature line is the way you respond or the way you respect the receiver by putting your signature. If it is in a written part, so it's going to be a formal document and it has been checked or validated by you so that you need to write your signature. But if it is a digital copy or soft file, you can only put the name and also the positions only. Yeah. So the complimentary clause is a short and polite remark that ends your letter, and it's not only sincerely. Yeah? So there are another types of the complimentary clause. For example, we have regards. Yeah. So it is a formal closing statement that you need to have during writing a letter. And just like what I've told you previously, signature is provided only if you print or write the letter. So therefore, if it is a digital copy, you don't need to put any signature actually. But if it is going to be dealing with the government or yeah, the government, yeah, especially for the government, they are going to require you to scan your signature. So that is going to be validated and legal for that. Until this part, I hope that you are getting into the topic, yeah? So actually you can pause or you can make it slow down or you can replay for several times if you don't get what I'm telling you. So, actually, the next part of our learning today is about the types of business letters. So there are a lot of business letter, including inquiry letter, order letter, account acknowledgement letter, thanking, complaint, and also adjustment. But for this class, we are not going to discuss all of it, but we are going to make it smaller because it's going to be better if we have small group discussions, yeah, rather than a class, big classroom discussions. Okay, so I will provide you one type of the business letter because later on it's going to be related to your project for today. So you are going to give me the explanations of the other types of business letter, but later on, yeah. Now we focus on inquiry letter first. So this is the first type of business letter, just like what I've given to you previously. So inquiry letter is actually a very crucial, the core, the basis of a letter that we need to have or we need to know in writing the business letter itself. So a letter an inquiry letter is a letter written for the purpose of asking for something or asking for information from the recipient. So if you want to ask about the price, if you want to ask about the details of the product, if you want to ask about the detail of service provided by the government or by the corporate, you need to write down an inquiry letter. So if you are wondering about the example of the inquiry letter, you can actually download it from the link that I have already provided, yeah. So in the inquiry letter, yeah, so it is going to be important that you need to notice that actually different types of letter has different types of body of the letter, yeah. So for today's discussions, I will give you an example of the type or the body of the letter of the inquiry letter. So first, in the body of the letter, you need to put the opening. So the opening of inquiry letter, it includes the introductions. Yeah. So you need to introduce yourself. You need to tell your name, your positions, and also your company name. So that it's going to be clear enough for the receivers to know who you are so that they can build the trust with you because you are going to be the next correspondence responsibility. Also, you need also to provide a statement of letter purpose on the opening, yeah? So it is going to be the first paragraph of the letter. So you need to put your introduction first and then followed by the statement of the letter purpose. For example, that I'm writing this letter to ask for blah, 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 or I'm writing this letter to inquire blah, blah, blah. So that it's going to be clear enough that the statement of your purpose is already stated on the first paragraph of the letter. Second, about the content. So you need to provide the details of inquiry or information needed. Yeah. So in the content, you need to write down about the details of specific information. For example, if you want to inquire about the hotels, make sure that you need to ask about the number of hotels. You need to ask about the type of hotels. You need to ask about the service provided in the hotel so that it's going to be clear enough about the informations that you are needed for the next event. And the last part is the closing. So in the closing, you need to mention about how you want to be reached out, whether you are going to be reached through telephone or email. This is going to be important because it is going to be the further decisions taken by the recipients on how they are going to reach you out for further correspondence. Okay, so this is the end of our discussions, yeah, or the end of our explanations about this letter. So now I would like you to do the project for today. So if you can see on your screen, so it is a focus group discussion. So I would like you to divide the class into three groups. Okay, so divide the class into three groups, and then each group should take one type of the letter. The first one take the order letter. The second one is acknowledgement letter, and the third one is complaint letter. So each of you are going to discuss and present different type of letter. Then try to identify the function of the letter, just like what I've told you. Inquiry letter is the function of inquiry letter is to ask for certain informations or ask for something. So now you need to identify the other type of letters functions, yeah. And then second, find an example of the letter on the internet. You need to find the correct example of the letter. After that, you need to do business letter analysis. So first, you need to you need to cut the letter into 7 parts, just like what I did previously. So you need to cut the letters into several parts. The second one, you need to identify the purpose of the letter, the standard of the letter, the recipients, and also the next activity should be done by the recipients. So the purpose of the letter here is totally different with the function of the letter, yeah. So the function on the letter is the function of letter in general, but the purpose of the letter is the purpose of the specific letter that you take as your example. So that's going to be different, okay? After that, you need to create a PowerPoint. Yeah, so you need to submit it on the e-learning in PDF format. And then you also need to present the business letter and record it as a video. So the video of your recording in explaining or presenting the business letter, you need to submit it on YouTube and send the link into our WhatsApp group. All right. I think that's all for today. Thank you very much and enjoy the classroom.